What's up, guys? Andrew Bad Andy Balgam, and I'm back again with Bad Andy Fitness. So today I'm going to be going over how I make my bone broth. This is a really good, simple, easy recipe. It has a pretty good stew type flavor to it. So I'm going to be using beef bones today, but you can use chicken bones as well, especially if you want to make some homemade chicken noodle soup. You probably would want to change the vegetables in yours different than mine. And you're more than welcome to use different veggies than what I use. This is just what I use and it tastes good. And I don't always use the same thing. And I'll show you here in a minute what I mean by that, because I save my skins and the ends from all my veggies. And what a lot of people don't realize is that's where a lot of the nutrients are, is actually in the skins. So don't throw them away, don't waste them. Go ahead, save them, and you can throw them in something like the bone broth we're gonna do. But the first thing you need is obviously bones. And I just have some beef marrow bones here I got from the local butcher shop. These aren't grass-fed, antibiotic-free, unfortunately. I haven't been able to find them since I've moved here to Montana. But as I always say, just do the best you can. It's better to have, bone broth in your diet than go without it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to use these. If you can get the grass-fed, antibiotic-free, that's even better. And then the next thing that's pretty important to use is your apple cider vinegar. It has to say with the mother on it. That's pretty important. That's going to have the enzymes in it you need to help break down the veggies and the bones so you can absorb them. And if it has with the mother, it should be organic, but just check, make sure it's organic. This is Bragg's, the most common one that you're going to find in most grocery stores. And then I always try to add broccoli and turmeric to it. Broccoli has a lot of great anti-estrogen properties, which is good if you're a guy trying to get more testosterone. And then turmeric's good for everyone. They don't fully know all the benefits of turmeric yet, so I highly suggest, it's kind of expensive, but make sure you get some turmeric in there. And then these were the leftovers I was talking about. So I made stew earlier this week. So I got some celery still left over, and then onion skins. I saved those, and I will be adding garlic to this. I thought I had some. I don't have it with me, so I'll have to go to the store and put it in later. But I'll be adding a whole bowl of garlic to this as well. And just these ingredients are going to give it so much flavor. It's going to taste so great. But first step is we're going to add some of our apple cider vinegar. What I like to do is I use a crock pot. You're more than welcome to use a pot or pan, but I like mine to go for 3 days to make sure I'm pulling out all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all that good stuff, as much of it out as I can. And basically, I just coat the bottom of the crock pot here with apple cider vinegar. So give it, I'm pretty much out, so I'll just add it all. But go ahead, make sure the whole bottom gets a nice little coating on it. And then part two is you can either use the oven or the grill, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw these on the grill for 30 minutes, and I'll put it to 300 degrees, but I don't wait for it to get to 300 degrees before I start my timer. Once I turn my grill on, I just go for 30 minutes, and it'll reach the 300 degrees about 15 minutes in. But that's fine. We don't want to cook these fully through. We just want to get some of the rawness out of them so you don't get a raw, nasty taste in your bone broth, basically. So we just want them cooked a little bit. Because the rawer you can have it, the better. That's going to leave more fat and other stuff in it. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get these on the grill. And once I'm done grilling these for the 30 minutes, or if you need to use the oven for 30 minutes, we'll put them here in our crock pot. Add in our veggies and top it off with filtered water. But I'll show you guys those steps, so I'll see you guys here in just a few minutes. Okay guys, so I just pulled my bones off the grill. They've been on there for 30 minutes. And remember, all I did was turn it on to 300 degrees and put these on. I didn't let it get up to 300 degrees for 30 minutes. Because you'll see here that they're kind of cooked, but they're not fully cooked. They're a little raw still, and that's what you want. You just don't want them completely raw. So now that we have them off the grill, or if you had to use the oven, all you do is you just apple cider vinegar that we already have in there. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll put in our veggies on top of that. And with your veggies, if you're going to be doing this like I am for a couple days in the crock pot on low, you really don't have to chop them up. It's going to pull all the vitamins and stuff out of them. But if you're in a time crunch and you need to do this in a day, go ahead, chop them up smaller. It gives them more surface area, so more water will come in contact and pull out all that stuff faster. Slower is better, but you gotta do what you can. If it's a time crunch, that's an easy trick to be able to get it more nutritious for yourself. And then the final step is what we're gonna do is we're gonna top it off with the water. And I have well water, so I don't have to filter it. But if you live in a city and it has chlorine or fluoride in it, I highly recommend getting those filtered out. They're highly toxic to you. There's nothing good for them. I don't know why they put them in your drinking water, but they don't help your teeth out. So the claim that that's true, it's garbage. So if you can filter all that stuff out, it's going to help you in the long run, because they're toxic. So it's going to help get those toxins out of your body. And another thing is when we're topping this off with water, if you're going to do it for the 3 days like I am, it's going to keep evaporating out. So just go ahead each day, fill up a little more water, and top it off. And so I'm going to let this simmer for 3 days, and then I'll show you the part of straining it so you can kind of get an idea. We'll use cheesecloth in a mason jar. It's not too hard, so I'll be back in 3 days, and I'll show you guys the finished product. Okay guys, so we're at day number 3 of the bone broth, and I've been continually topping it off with the water like I said earlier. And I went ahead and I used tongs and I took all the big stuff out, so all the big chunks are off. Once you do that, the next step is to just get cheesecloth, cut it into chunks about this big, cover the top of a mason jar, and just rubber band it down, and then it's ready to strain. After you do that, the only thing you have to do is just ladle it from your crock pot into your mason jars. And when you're doing this, guys, you're going to notice there's going to be a layer of fat. I don't know if you guys can quite see it, but the more you get, the bigger this little layer that's floating around up top is going to be, and that's a layer of fat. And what you should do is when you're drinking this nightly, just go ahead, break it up equally, the chunks, so you get equal serving each time. Because what happens in those fat chunks, a lot of vitamins and minerals are fat soluble, so they're getting absorbed by that fat, and if you throw the fat out, you're throwing all that good stuff away. Also, it's loaded with flavor, so that's another big benefit. And if you're cooking like a beef stew or something, make sure you throw that fat in. It makes it so good. But guys, it's really easy. I hope this showed how easy it is to make bone broth. I will say one word of caution: when you are straining this, make sure you're wearing clothing that you don't care about, because it can stain your clothes. So just make sure you wear some shorts or some sweats that you don't care about. And a crock pot this size, it'll make about 4 mason jars worth. That'll last me about a week and a half. And you just go ahead, you store it in the fridge, and it's good to go. You can go a couple weeks, so don't worry about that too much. Just make sure you use it up before probably like 3 weeks. Then I'd start getting iffy if it's good or not still. But it's super easy and it's so good for you guys. I hope you found this video useful. And if you did, give it a like, give it a share, and most importantly, subscribe, because I'm going to keep making these videos and we need to get the word out there and help other people start living a healthy life. So as always, in the comments below, let me know other stuff you'd like me to cover, other topics, be it food or fitness, and I'll get to them and we'll cover them in the next episode or a future episode. But that's going to do it for this edition of Bad Andy Fitness. I'll see you guys on the next one.